This story comes from a writing prompt by a fan. Thanks for the idea. Billie Eilish and Finneas O'Connell are sailing around the world for fun and adventure. Their yacht is called the Squid. They've got a salty old captain, a helmsman with a wooden leg, a cook who only eats his own cooking. One night the wind picks up and waves twice as tall as the mast slam into the Squid. Suddenly a green light flashes on the horizon. Someone or something is using a flare gun. Captain Ahab turns the ship towards the light. Lush vegetation covers everything in sight. As the crew rows to shore, they see footprints in the sand. Big, ugly footprints. There's also a spring with water so clear it looks like glass. Suddenly, a large shape emerges from the trees. It's one of the ugliest creatures the crew have ever seen. Its skin is the color of dried blood and its eyes glow green. It snarls at the humans and gestures for them to come closer. The creature looks back at the hut and gestures again. The crew nods and follows it. The pages are filled with pictures and descriptions of the island's plants and animals. There's also a note that says, "If you found this book, please contact the author at this address." Slowly, the crew approaches and the creature grabs one of the water bottles from a dead man's hand. It opens the cap and takes a drink. Then it looks at the humans, smiles and gestures again for them to come closer. As they sail away, they see the last of the ugly creatures disappear into the forest. Then another one appears, and then another until dozens of ugly creatures surround them. By now, everyone is thirsty and exhausted. So they fill their water bottles and decide to set up camp for the night. On the beach, they find a small hut made of driftwood and vines. There's no sign of anyone else, but someone has clearly been living here. Meanwhile, the cabin boy polishes the brass telescope while singing opera. The helmsman with the wooden leg steers the ship. Captain Ahab grips the wheel and looks towards the horizon. The cook stirs a pot of stew, humming a sea shanty. And everyone on board is happy to be part of the Squid's crew. And a cabin boy who cleans the toilets while singing opera. The Squid leaves the Caribbean and heads north for New York City. It has been a week since they left the island and the ocean around them is getting rougher every day. "There's land ahoy," shouts a lookout from the crow's nest. And by the shape of that light, there be treasure on shore. The crew cheers and Captain Ahab drives the ship faster. The next morning, the Squid arrives at a small, uncharted island. As they explore the island, they find strange plants with huge, juicy leaves. Another one falls on top of it and starts biting its neck. Soon all the creatures are biting and clawing at each other, creating a huge pile of flesh and fury. The crew watches in amazement as the creatures fight over the body. That evening, a storm threatens, so they build a fire and huddle together for warmth. Then one of them collapses screaming and clutching its chest. One of them, seemingly the strongest, pushes the others away and stands over the pile of flesh. When they reach out their hands, it puts its bottle down and pats their hands in greeting. In the hut, they find clothes, food, and weapons. But what catches their attention is a big, blank book. In the morning, the crew prepares to leave. They refill their water bottles at the spring and say goodbye to their new friend. Back on the Squid, Billie Eilish and Finneas O'Connell write down their amazing adventure and send it to the author of the book.